The White House is now warning governors of all 50 states to be prepared because the White House is now predicting we are going to see an increase in attacks here against the United States. Now, I want to break down where these are coming from, all the different threats that we are currently facing, and why the American people, as of right now, are almost in panic mode. So I'm going to explain what's going on in just a moment, but all I ask is one thing. It takes 2 seconds. Go ahead, hit that like button if you enjoy these daily updates. And now, let's begin. So why would the White House be warning the governors of all 50 states? What threat could be targeting all 50 states? Well, it has to do with cyber attacks. And it's the cyber attacks against our water treatment facilities, our electrical grid, transportation, and so much more. Now, I want to play you a clip. This clip right here is from the FBI Director, Christopher Wray, and he is talking about the threats that are, here in the United States that we are currently facing. And a lot of it has to do with a Chinese attack. But listen to this.
The PRC has made it clear that it considers every sector that makes our society run fair game in its bid to dominate on the world stage, and that its plan is to land low blows against civilian infrastructure to try to induce panic. The fact is, the PRC's targeting of our critical infrastructure is both broad and unrelenting.
I want to stop it right there, and then we'll play the rest of this, but he is saying that it's trying to induce panic. Just think about this for a second. Let's say your power shuts off for a couple hours, and then you hear from the utility company that they have no clue what's going on. They can't get it back up and running. My guess is most people would panic. And it could be because there's a basketball game on that night. You need to get some work done and you need the internet. You just want to make sure your food that is in your freezer and your fridge does not go bad. People will panic. And maybe you need a respirator, right? Maybe you sleep with you have sleep apnea and you sleep with a machine, right? These things matter. These are life-saving, life-changing, devices. But if we do not have electricity, that would be huge. This would cause the American people to go into panic mode immediately. Let's keep listening.
It's using that mass, those numbers, to give itself the ability to physically wreak havoc on our critical infrastructure at a time of its choosing. But these vital sectors, we're talking about everything from water treatment facilities and energy grids to transportation and information technology, form the backbone of our society.
So he's talking about everything. And I just want to show you some articles. Here's a handful here. All right, look at this. It says the White House warns states of continued cyber threats to water infrastructure. It says the letter to state governors comes after the U.S. sanctioned Iran-linked hackers in February for their breach of water treatment systems last year. Look at this one. It says cyber attacks are targeting U.S. water systems, warns the EPA and the White House. It says states are being asked to assess vulnerabilities at water utilities following attacks linked to the Chinese and Iranian governments. Here's another one. White House moves to defend U.S. ports from Chinese cyber threats. I've talked about this one before as well, and I actually talked about this just a few days ago. And I said that China has produced and manufactured a lot of our cranes, even the systems that we use. And all it would take is for China to put some type of malware in the system, and they could shut things down. This is the real problem. Okay? But look at this one. It says, are Iran and China trying to foul our water? White House warns governors to be alert. When they talk about water and they talk about our water treatment facilities and these plants, here's the thing you need to understand. A lot of these facilities, they need to make sure that we are not drinking contaminated water. We do not have, high levels of chlorine or something that could make us sick. But if you tweak those, and the water treatment facilities cannot go and adequately and effectively, make the water safe to drink or just wash our hands with, well, what do we do there? Because in most cases, you would never know you are drinking contaminated water until after you get sick. And again, that's part of the issue. Look at this one. It says Russian hackers breached and sabotaged Texas water treatment plant, according to a cyber firm. This is just from a few days ago. And it says, if confirmed by U.S. officials, it would add Moscow to the list of American adversaries that have infiltrated water infrastructure in the past year. Now, we have not heard the confirmation yet, but some believe that yes, this was because of what of Russian hackers. But I just want to point this out. The issues that we're facing is we do not have the ability to stop these hackers yet. Now, granted, in this in the bill that was just passed just a few days ago or 2 days ago, whatever it was, where the House of Representatives actually passed a $95 billion bill for additional aid to Ukraine and Israel. This also, I believe, included money, I don't know how many billions, but money to stop cyber attacks. So a little bit of money to go and help us here on U.S. soil. But again, that is something that's going to take potentially years just to develop. China is already ahead of us there. That's the problem. Here's something else China's doing, though. China is hacking our Wi-Fi routers to attack the U.S. electrical grid and water supplies, according to the FBI. It says hacks likened to placing bombs in water treatment facilities and power plants. So if they are pretty much saying it is because of China or Russia or Iran or wherever, the concern is these are three countries that, as of right now, the United States is not very friendly with. We're not friendly with Iran. Definitely not friendly with Russia. China is probably the closest, but again, China looks at the United States as a threat. One of the reasons why, because of Taiwan. And Taiwan is looking for some additional funding from the United States as well, because of all these Chinese military planes and ships that are surrounding their island. So I don't think this gets any better. But again, here's another attack. It says Kansas City Area Transportation Authority hit with a cyber attack on Tuesday. Keep in mind, this was actually posted back in January. All right? The reason why this is important is because this is not just the large cities like Los Angeles and New York. These are every single city, big and small. You will see that if a cyber attack happens, it is going to shut things down. We've seen internet get shut down. Okay, here in Washington State, we saw the transportation get hit. I believe this is back in 2023. Okay, we've seen over on the East Coast, hospitals got hit where emergency services had to be redirected to other hospitals that were actually functioning, were flowing. We've seen just recently, and this is scary, but healthcare was hit, where people could not, and whether it's payments or health insurance or whatever, the whole healthcare industry was pretty much at a standstill for a little while. We're still seeing the ramifications of this as well. But here's where things get even more interesting. According to the IMF, as the International Monetary Fund, it says cyber attacks risk triggering bank runs. Think about this for a second. I talked about this earlier today as well. I think I even showed this exact same article. But one of the things that we're facing at this time is if the American people are concerned about their internet, their electricity, their water, chances are they're going to go to the bank and try to pull money out. Because if we do see a cyber attack on, let's say, like the payment processors, where you go and you try to use your card and it doesn't work, well, everyone's going to want cash. Everyone's going to want money, right? Something that they can actually use. Cash is king, is what they say. But in the video I did earlier, they're talking about a cashless society where banks don't want to give you money. And why would banks want to give all their money away? Again, keep in mind, let's say they only have $500, whatever this is, 500 bucks. Okay, they only have $500 in their bank account. And Bobby comes in and he wants 100, right? Little Susie comes in and she wants 100. Okay, little Franco, he comes in, he wants 100. The bank's like, oh, I only got $200 left. And what if, we need money because we got to buy things too, right? We're a business. Well, what if little Jenny comes in and she wants 100? Now the bank's stuck with just $100. Chances are what the bank's going to do, and what I talked about earlier, the bank is going to do whatever they can to say, you know what? You don't need money. You don't need cash. You don't need it, because the bank wants to hold on to it. Keep in mind, if you cannot pay with a card and now cash is king, banks are going to want that money. They want that leverage. So again, this is the problem that we're facing. The White House is warning all 50 states because we are seeing an increase in cyber attacks. And based off what the FBI have said and what Homeland Security has stated multiple times, we have not seen this many risks in decades. We've never seen this high of especially security, just the threat level right now. It's never been so elevated all at the same time. So we're going to see what happens moving forward. All I can tell you is I will be here every step of the way. I'll fill you in on all the latest news and updates. But as of today, that is what we know. So again, thank you guys for watching. Consider subscribing. I'll see you guys on the next one.